Hello again. So here we are in Delhi in the heat. The sun's just come out.
The sun's come out 10 degrees warmer, Sean Gardiner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm feeling it a lot more. I've not had years of living out here like you have. So I really, really feel the heat.
Is that right?
Yeah, it really affects me quite a lot. I lose energy when I get hot. Some people just absolute like lizards. Just want to sit out in the sun. I can't. I need to keep cool.
That's
I need
interesting.
To keep dipping in the pool. I mean, one of the big things out here in India is Ayurveda. This ancient wisdom and way of treating people, which came thousands of years before modern allopathic medicine. And I have quite a high score on the Pitta scale. Pitta is fire, so I've got natural fiery energy. So I have to have foods and things that cool down my body and not allow myself to get too hot.
Gotcha.
So, whereas somebody like you, you're more of what we call a vata, which is a movement person.
Yeah.
Being an ex-professional cricketer, you played, which is Middlesex.
Yeah, Middlesex. I did a few years of Middlesex. Enjoyed my time there. Then I did some, played at the sort of semi-professional level for 2 or 3 years after that, and then some really good club cricket before and after. I had a fantastic time in cricket, and I owe the game a lot. The game gave me tremendous amount, so I, as a coach, have a philosophy of giving back to it, and I hope that I've done that in the amount of kids I've coached in many, many different countries. So yeah, I was blessed to be involved in cricket.
Wonderful. I'm a different type of coach. I help people more with their self-awareness. But what we've noticed is that the conversations that we've been having about the type of coaching that we're doing, there's no sort of competition at all. We just coach people in different ways for different reasons, but we both have a passion for helping people.
Amen.
Which is why we're doing this redox signaling. It's such a huge thing. I think if we can communicate effectively what it is that this does for people, how and why, and give people access, because it's a learning curve. It's taken me, I think, 3 months that I've known about it now. And it's taken me probably all of that time to get my head around it. Firstly, the experience that I had when I first tried it was significant. I really noticed a difference in the way I felt. Then, when I didn't have it, when I wasn't using it, after I'd started traveling, I took some with me to India, but I ran out. And I remember talking to Julie saying, well, when is Pete coming?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I'd love him to bring me a few bottles out, and you managed to bring 4 out, which was fantastic. So I've been taking it again for 2 days, and I can already feel the difference. The first day that I took it, I remember in the evening just taking a small amount, I think a 60cc dose, which is the standard recommended daily dose. I was lying on my bed, and I could actually feel this sort of energy going through my legs, again in my center here, in my liver area. But I was straight back into my morning, little process that I do. So what I do, because we were chatting about it, how do you use it? How I use it was, is, I wake up in the morning and I'm pretty much straight to the bottle. I take my 60cc dose, hold it in my mouth for, I think the recommended time is 15 to 30 seconds. That prepares the body for it. And then just drink it down. And then I will go straight into I do a 15-minute, what's called a Kundalini Kriya, which is breath work and movement. And that's waking up my endocrine system, oxygenating my body, but also stressing part of my body. And that gives me a huge energy boost. So that, combined with taking the redox molecules, I have found just sets me up for the day. I'm ready pretty much for anything. And what about you? I mean, you've been using it every day now for quite a period of time.
Every day. So if we get to a day where we've run out, it's a day in the house. Gillian and I, we look at each other, right, we put an order in. So we now try to make sure that we don't run out at all. But in terms of taking responsibility for our own wellness, as you can see, that's a theme with me, is take responsibility yourself, rather than a sort of top-down, do this, do that. No, be autonomous, make your own decisions, and look after your own health and well-being. So my process in the morning is wake up, first thing, have a shot of Asea, okay? Fill the cup, gargle around. That's it. So here we go. So this is what I'll do.
Do you want to show us what you do?
So this is just below the 60 cc's, okay? Go.
So you're actually swilling it around in your mouth. I'll do the talking for you, perhaps, because it's going to be drier.
So I would do that for 20 to 30 seconds and then swallow it down. Straight away I would feel an improvement. Now second, I either go to shower, and it might be normal shower, finish on cold, always finish on cold. Okay, so I'm very much learning about that as a wonderful way to promote internal wellness. And then third, I will do the Kriya that I learnt at the Isha Yoga Center, the 5 breath meditation. Last about, 12 to 14 minutes, and then you can then have a silence meditation for about 7 minutes afterwards. But certainly the breathing exercises are very powerful. It involves Om chanting as well, but the breath work in and out, breath balancing, breath fluttering, the breath hold as well. It's very interesting that, we've talked about Wim Hof before. He talks about a breath hold and how that's fantastic for your cardiovascular system, fantastic for energizing your whole body. Well, that's exactly what I learned 12 years ago down at the Isha Yoga Center. So we combine that with this as the missing link. You've got this in your system already. So by getting Asea in your system before you do the cold shower, before you do your breath work or your yoga, you are amplifying the already positive benefits of doing those practices. It's really that simple, amplifying the benefits of them.
When do you add just normal drinking water, mineral water?
When
would you take that? Would you take it straight afterwards?
I would wait 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So the thing is with doing that, if you have your Asea in the morning, you have your cap full of Asea, then you have your shower, then you do your breath work or you do a few yoga poses, as long as the body's woken up, that's going to take 15 minutes in itself. Then you can pre-hydrate for the day.
So we both ended up, we never actually spoke beforehand about what our morning practice was, but they're both very similar. I'm a cold shower guy. If I'm near the beach, if I'm near a beach,
in you go.
I'm in, even if it's midwinter. And what I found, because I started taking this in the UK at the end of January, just by chance through our connection, I was combining this with cold water sea swims, and the sensation I had in my body was just phenomenal.
Extraordinary.
I've been doing cold water swims for years, but I was finding that with the breath work, the cold water swims and the redox molecules, next level. I was having a much better day.
See, I've not done that. I've done cold baths for my legs after I've been on a long hike, and I get in the bath up to my waist, but I haven't done full immersion to your neck, and I haven't done the cold showers on a regular basis. So the combination of that with this, you can feel a physiological difference. You feel higher energy. You feel that your cells are more alive, oxygenated, if you want to say that.
I think what's important to say is that we're not recommending that people, in order to get the best results out of this, have to do cold water treatment. This is what we both happen to do, but we're both guys who really enjoy that. I'm a trained free diver. I've been doing long breath holds. I think my maximum empty lung breath hold record that I've achieved now is just over 6 minutes. And what happens to the body during that time is really quite phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You get experiences that people can't imagine. Very almost cosmic, but you feel incredibly calm afterwards. And what that did is, I think that attuned my awareness to the fact that these experiences are available.
Yes.
And that made me probably more open to trying something like this. So
that's an important point, because if you're closed in your belief system and you think that science is totally settled on certain subjects, then you will always be stuck being told what works for you. Whereas if you are open-minded and free-thinking, and you recognize that even the Western medicinal model is still learning stuff that the East has had for thousands of years. Good example would be mindfulness and yoga. In the last 10 years, with people having stress-related illnesses that have really grown in the Western world and around the rest of the world, but particularly in the West. And they tried all the antidepressants, they tried this, that, and the other. And then doctors started saying, you should try yoga, you should try mindfulness. But they've been doing that for 5,000 years where we are in India, in Japan, in China. 5,000 years they've been doing that because they know it works. So If that works, then Asea, with the redox signaling molecules, is a technology which our bodies have always used. The difference is Asea is the first company, the first product ever to stabilize those molecules. So as you know, as we get to the age of 20, our redox signaling molecules start to deteriorate, like our testosterone, like our muscle mass starts to deteriorate and diminish. So supplementing it and increasing it to youthen our body, to youthen our cellular structure, this is an option now. We've got an opportunity to do that. And that's why I think this product is just such a breakthrough. It's a genuine health technology breakthrough. And in the years to come, redox signaling will be recognized by the mainstream. At the moment, it's still seen as something new. It's still seen as something that's evolving. But the human body has used this for time immemorial. We have an opportunity to spread the word about it. And I think that's very, very exciting. And like we said in our last chat, do people need better health and wellness at the moment? You bet they do. There's a problem at the moment. People are not as well as they want to be. People are suffering chronic illnesses, autism, neurological disorders, cancer rates, heart disease. A lot of these are down to poor lifestyle, poor nutrition, stress-related illnesses. We can change that. We can change that by using some of the techniques that we've talked about, but this is the missing link, in my view. Again, not a scientist, not a doctor, but I'm talking about wellness into my 50s. I'm in my 50s now, talking to people. Here, we're talking to the staff here, and they're fascinated because they're open to the idea of pranayama. They use pranayama, they use kriya, they use yoga. They know about how powerful that can be. So they're very open to the idea of a health technology which can amplify, or if they're not doing that, which they can just take a shot of something, a couple of these a day. Even if you do one a day, it's going to give you health benefits. I think that's why it's so powerful.
Definitely. Well, we're definitely both fans, and we've bought into it. You know, this isn't something that is inexpensive. It's not like buying mineral water.
No.
You know, you're paying the same for a bottle of one of these bottles as you will for a decent bottle of champagne.
Yeah, that's right.
The thing is, with a decent bottle of champagne, you're going to get through it in a night, and you may not remember it, and it's definitely not going to do you any good. The difference with this, the way I look at it as a former drinker, is actually that I've spent so much more in an evening on alcohol than I will in a week on this stuff. This is repairing the damage that I did. So I actually owe it to my body to use the knowledge that I've got. And
as well as repairing, what are you preventing by taking this?
Well, that's the other thing.
That's another thing, isn't it?
The antioxidants, yeah, that's the key. It's preventative. And I've come across this through my interest in what's going on in the world at the moment, which is definitely not what we would have hoped. But through my own misfortune of getting sick and feeling a significant impact in my body afterwards, and thinking, actually, I need to do something about this. And it wasn't until I started really getting into this that I realized how bad I had been feeling post-COVID. It really has made a difference to my sense of well-being, clarity of mind, all of the good stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be getting involved with this if I didn't believe that it was going to be beneficial to many, many people.
So we both take it. All our family take it.
Yeah.
My wife takes it. Our son takes it. Our daughters take it. Occasionally, we even give it to our dogs. They love it. Teddy, our Boston Terrier, if I put a little bit of Asea on my skin, he'll lap it up. He loves it. And he's bouncing around afterwards.
Yeah. And just so that people know, it does taste a bit like swimming pool water, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of a combination between swimming pool water and salt water. Okay, because it starts off as sodium chloride, it's salt water. Then it goes through the unique Asea process, which is patented, and all their production secrets to produce the only stabilized form of redox signaling molecules in a bottle. So it's pretty powerful. It's unique, and we have an opportunity to tell people about this. I feel really privileged that I was introduced to this, because I was already on the journey of holistic wellness and non-pharmaceutical wellness. And then when you get something like this that you can take, and it's so simple, you saw it there, swig it around, swallow it in your mouth for 20 seconds, swallow it down. Last thing I'll say, I take it twice a day minimum in the UK. Over here, 3 to 4 a day.
Okay. What is that?
40-degree heat here if I'm out coaching in the sun. Air quality is not quite as good. Okay, probably a little bit. The water here, for instance, you can't drink from the tap here.
No.
You know that in Britain you can. Okay, I know it's fluoridated, etc., but there are no, there's no bugs in our water. Whereas here you will find that. So if you make a mistake and you just might clean your teeth and you forget that the tap doesn't work, or that you're not supposed to take water from the tap, or you get an apple and somebody's washed it in tap water or something like that. So there's more stress on the body in hotter conditions, with India having probably more. There's more bacteria. It's a tougher climate here. Let's say that. And then with the energy expenditure I do in my my day workout here, I take 3 or 4.
Right, that's really, really good to know. All right, so I think we'll just wrap up this little section of what we're doing for now. But
Sure.
thanks for explaining everything, and we'll do another one next.
Good to chat.
All right.